Good evening and welcome to an edition of Arsenal in the North Bank. As you can see, Bray's away, so I've got the reins. I'm new to this, not just new to this channel, but I'm new completely. So, hopefully it goes okay and we'll give you a good show. But to help me along with the show, we've got four brilliant guests and who'll be giving us some good input. So, Ian, I will start with you because I know you're at the game. How are you? Welcome in.
I'm good, thank you very much. Yeah, looking forward to the show. I'm a little bit worse for the wear. I haven't been at the game yesterday. Flew home very, very early this morning, but all worthwhile. But yeah, in good form.
Nice. Richard, welcome in. How are you?
Brilliant. I watched from home and it's been a bit hectic. Mother's Day, doing everything, but last hour's been nice, so I've been out to chill.
Nice. Des, welcome. Hope you're having a good evening.
How you doing? Have we met each other before? I'm not sure.
We haven't actually. No, Des. Yes. This is what kind of one of my worries because obviously I've met Ian before, but I haven't met anybody else before. So it's quite a new thing for me as well.
Stick with us, mate. You'll go far. It's all right.
Well, I can only do what I can do. I've got to be allowed to be part of the dealings. You know what I mean? So it's hopefully it goes well, and we'll be back.
Good to be on with the boys. So it should be a good show. So let's crack on.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we just go with the flow, innit? And Rob, welcome in. Good evening. How are you?
Yeah, fine, thank you. Unfortunately, I wasn't at the game yesterday. It's my birthday today, so I went out. I went out last night, so going to the game was making things a bit tight, being an evening kickoff. So I missed all the excitement. It must have been a really good atmosphere last 10 minutes.
It was a really good atmosphere. But with the eventualities of today, I might have a little present for you.
Oh, okay. I look forward to that.
Hey!
And you can't beat that present.
What are we saying to that?
It's where we want to be, isn't it?
It's beautiful, isn't it?
I mean, we don't know how long it's going to last. We don't know, if we're actually going to do it. But
that's why you can make the most of it.
As a birthday present, never met you before, and I just give you a present like
that. Well. It's fully appreciated, thank you.
Sparks, you're just a gift that gives. You're just a gift that keeps on giving, aren't you? But 7 goals is a big goal difference. 7 goals is a big goal difference.
I mean, it could be the difference, couldn't it?
It's almost a point, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, but I will say though that Liverpool's next. Of their next 5 games, 4 of them are at home. One of them's against Sheffield United, and another is against Crystal Palace. I reckon that goal difference will be made up fairly quickly. I think. I wouldn't be surprised.
Well, as we got on to that,
Sheffield United scare me, but maybe Crystal Palace have sorted their game out a little bit.
Yeah, with Hodgson gone, they're a little bit better.
Well, if we can score 5 against Sheffield, they can score 5 against Sheffield, can't they? Let's be honest.
Yeah. Absolutely, at least. Unfortunately.
So I mean that's the thing, isn't it? We've got to worry about other people and what they're going to do. Nothing's a given, isn't it? At the end of the day, it's the Premier League. It's the hardest league in the world.
With respect, guys, you can only beat
Europe at least. Yeah. So I'm going to put the run-in up.
Man City have the easiest run-in, don't they? If I'm right.
Well, there's the run-in. So obviously you can pick the bones out of that as much as you want, but there's no easy games, is there? At the end of the day,
no.
We've all got hard games. We've all got easy games.
I think we've all. I think we've all got the same top 6 amount of top 6. It's the lower sides that we've got.
For me, it's the venues that we have them. So it's like we have more away venues than we do home venues. So I think that makes it harder.
Every team in the running's got something to play for, though, haven't they? Trying to fight relegation or trying to get a top 6, whatever the case may be. Everyone's trying to fight for something, aren't they?
Yeah, absolutely. And we know that there's no gimmies. It's just pure, one game at a time, as they say. It literally has to be one game at a time. And there's one thing that annoys me is basically when people put how many points we're getting from this and how many points we're getting from that, and it literally needs to be one game at a time for me. It's just literally we take each one on their own merit and see where we end up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you have to take it one game at a time. As anybody, like if anybody who likes to place or do a little bet, say on an accumulator, there's 2 parts of the season that are always very, very hard to get your accumulators up. That's at the start of the season and the end of the season, because even though on paper certain games may look, stonewall wins for one team, as you guys said, there's always something to play for. With relegation, they're never easy to predict. Like, anything can happen, and that's why we need to take it game by game. Just focus on the next one.
Yeah, absolutely. I completely couldn't agree more. So yeah. Just trying to get a clock up here. Right. So obviously we've got the lineup for the game yesterday.
There was no surprises. There was no surprises, was there?
For me, no. Was anybody surprised by anything on there?
No.
No, I mean, the only thing there was, would Martinelli be fit? And if he wasn't fit, you expected Trossard to start in his place. So it was just whether he was going to be fit enough to start play, wasn't it?
I was happy that he stayed with Jorginho. I'm glad he started with Jorginho.
Yeah, I would agree with that as well. So I mean, I think Jorginho has just been a rock, hasn't he? When he's come in,
he can pass a ball. That boy, can't he?
Yeah, he really can. And it's just steady, isn't it? It's just controlled steadiness, everything going on, going off in the right direction, and yeah, it's nothing really to worry about as such, is there?
No, and that ball he played into Havertz, the one that in the first half where he just missed it, he flicked it by the post. That ball into him by Jorginho was sensational. It was unbelievable. That's what he can do.
Yeah.
It's a shame Havertz didn't finish it, but look.
Excuse me.
I mean, another clutch goal from Havertz.
Yeah. Yeah, four goals and 2 assists in 4 games from now.
Yeah. So
he's finally found his feet, hasn't he? He's finally fitting in where he should be fitted in, and at the start of the season we were £65 million down the drain. Yeah, well, Kai Havertz scores again, doesn't he? So
do we actually think he's paid it off now, or has he still got a way to go to do that? What do you think?
Paid it off for me because he scored him in He's scored him at vital times. To be honest with you, my friend, he's paid his dues, and he's a
big game. He's a big game player, isn't he? He's proved that. He's scored the winner in the Champions League final for a start. He's proved that he can play at the big moments.
And if he does it on Tuesday night, he's more than paid his dues back.
Yes.
Well, that's the thing, isn't it? Obviously, we're going to Porto a little bit later, but obviously that's one of the main reasons he's been brought in, because of that Champions League experience. Very new situation for a lot of the players, and bringing in a couple of players like Jorginho and like Kai Havertz is very big for us, isn't it? To give us that little bit of experience on that stage.
Well, back to Jorginho, it wasn't too long ago. Every week in, week out, Arsenal were accused of having no leaders on the pitch. We had to put up with that being said week in, week out. And now look at it. How many leaders on that pitch now? Yeah. What a phenomenal change in this club.
Yeah.
It's just full of leaders.
Yeah. We have 5 or 6 captains on the pitch now.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. Jorginho, when he's a sub, he's leading. He's there, isn't he? He's in it. He's living it.
Yeah. Yeah,
I mean, we were talking about yesterday. And I think I was saying to Ian, it was like the captain doesn't need to wear the armband, and it's almost like you've got Odegaard wearing the armband, but it doesn't really seem to phase Odegaard having the pressure of the armband, where some players have that pressure, but some players don't need the armband to be a captain.
No.
And I think years gone by, time's gone by, we've had people, players that's it's either been a burden to wear the armband, or their butt hurt because they don't have it, or whatever. And everybody seems really in tune with themselves, as far as I can see, anyway.
Yeah.
Sometimes how good is Odegaard at the moment?
Oh, I love him, mate. He's my favourite player. Don't get me started on Odegaard, mate.
You just watch him play, and it's like
poetry in motion.
He is just phenomenal. He's hit another level, isn't he? Rob,
I think he's better than Kevin De Bruyne, to be honest with you. That's just my opinion, but I think he's better than Kevin De Bruyne. But going to the point that you guys have made, right? We seem to have a captain in every single part of the field now. Do you know what I mean? So basically, I mean, it's like you could have Declan Rice as a captain, you could have Saliba as a captain.
Without a doubt.
Do you know what I'm saying? Where before you would say, oh, you can't give it to a defender. Do you know what I mean? That was the kind of conversations we were having. You can't give it to this player because he plays in that position. But hold on a minute. I thought last season we were a beast of a team, right? This season we're a different kind of, actually a different kind and a better beast.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We are
more grown up.
We are playing football. I haven't seen Arsenal play in a very, very long time. Yeah, and genuinely, I mean, I'm glad Odegaard is the captain, but as you say, there's probably a handful now. You could say, right, you can take the armband. I mean, even when Timber comes back, he could be a captain. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. And that's what. And do you know what it is? I tell you what it is, guys. And I'm just going to take a quick second. They're communicating well with each other. There's no one trying to be bigger than somebody else. Do you know what I'm getting at? And like, yes, Odegaard is the captain, and yes, he's the man you listen to, but we are playing as a complete unit, I think.
There's no egos, is there? There's no egos.
No, not at all.
But that's what I mean. But by saying that there's nobody that's basically butthurt that they're not wearing an armband, and
you're making a fair point.
And Odegaard is carrying the burden, if you like.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't really affect him. So I think that everybody's taken egos out of it, and it seems to be everybody's kind of on the same wavelength. It doesn't really matter if you've got the armband or not.
Yeah. And let's be honest, Trossard and Jesus, I mean, even when Jesus comes back properly, they've got that number 9 down to a T, haven't they? And we didn't used to play a number 9, did we? But now we can play that number 9 position and it's comfortable.
What you mean, a plan A, a plan B?
Yeah, and we might even have a plan C. We don't know, do we? But whatever they think you buy, go and do it on the next international break, because if it keeps us winning like we're winning, I'll take it.
Yeah, but I don't care how it happens, really, to be honest with you. Just want it to happen.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I just want us to win any which way. But, you know, if we can do it stylishly, it looks better, and done it, you know?
Talking about the armband, actually, did anybody see what Odegaard did at the end of the game yesterday? Did anybody pick it up?
No, I must have missed it. No.
So basically, when Odegaard was getting subbed off, he went to
Jesus, didn't he?
Jesus, and I think he just did that purely because he was the furthest player away from him.
Yeah, to take him a bit more time.
And as he's walking towards him, Jesus is basically backing up. He's walking further and further away. And I was like, that is perfect, because he's just like hiding the thing, and you know, Brentford were flapping arms around and God knows what else.
I'm surprised he didn't get a card for it. Because that referee yesterday was card happy. He was a bit every opportunity, wasn't he?
Yeah, I was very worried because Gabriel got booked after 10 minutes, and I thought, imagine if he got sent off, he'd missed the City game. Can you imagine us going to City without Gabriel? But he was very card happy. Yes, I missed the Odegaard. I missed that Odegaard handing the armband to Jesus because I was in the middle of having a nervous breakdown. wait for that final whistle.
The rest of the crowd.
Yeah, the whole lot of us were.
Yeah. I know it's on a replay. I didn't know it's at the ground. I know it's on a replay. So
now you've said it, I did see it, but I thought you might have to watch something else. I wasn't. But yeah, that was totally for time wasting, and I thought
absolutely, yeah,
very clever.
Yeah. Yes. So all right, we've got the Thomas Frank interview. So I don't know if everybody's seen it or not, but we'll play it through and see what you think of it.
I imagine that was a tough one to take for you.
Yeah, definitely. So proud of the team and the players. We're coming here to Arsenal, that in-form team. They've been praised so much for scoring. I don't know, what was it, 100 goals in the last, I don't know how many games, been free-floating. And we're limiting them to a very, very minimum. And basically almost a defensive masterclass, I would say. So much effort, so much mentality, and I think we were closer to score on Nathan Collins' header before they scored on the 2-1. In that sense, of course, it's hard. The performance spot on. If you take even more impressive, if you take into account Arsenal's form, they're playing home, our form. Our injury situation and our captain need to come off after 20-25 minutes. So impressive. And I actually think, I normally will never do that, I actually don't think Havertz should be on the pitch when he scored the goal. For me, it was a clear dive when the penalty shout. If you see that slowly back, it's clear. Maybe it's difficult for Rob the ref, but the linesman Nick should have seen it, in my opinion, clearly.
Yeah, he was already on that yellow card, wasn't he?
What do we make of that?
I think Thomas Frank needs some chips to go with that salt. I can understand that that's just basically a manager deflecting from his side being one of the poorest sides in the Premier League at the moment. They're in a relegation battle, and they're 1 point above, I think, Nottingham Forest. And that's just a guy trying to deflect. I don't know how you guys felt about it. It wasn't great from Havertz, but there was, and he was kind of looking for it, but it's not a yellow card. For me, it's just never a second yellow ever.
To me, if you don't mind me going, guys, to me, right, Frank as a person, the manager, I do appreciate his honesty. Most of the time, he's proper honest, and he says it as it is. Of course, you lost, so you're going to sound bitter. You're going to sound salty. So Ian makes a fair point, but he does get clipped. Look, that leg is in front of him.
There's contact, isn't there?
Yeah, there's contact there. Plus, he's got his arm on his back. If you look, as you've got that still there, my friend, right? His leg's in front of him, his arm's on his back. So he's either clipping him or he's clipping his leg. He's going to go down whatever, right? To say Havertz shouldn't be on the field is a little bit harsh. These are just my opinions. You don't have to agree with me, but I just think if Havertz hadn't scored the second goal, we wouldn't even be having this conversation. In all honesty,
yeah. If it was a case that there was literally no contact, and he went for a dive, fair enough. But you're 100% right, Des, in that there was contact, and Sparks, you said it as well. There's contact. Yes, Havertz tried to make the most of it, 100%. But
what player doesn't these days, though, Ian? What player doesn't?
100%. Yeah,
this is exactly right. Is it wrong to do that? Absolutely. Does everybody do it? Yes.
Yeah.
And what got me last night, and I tweeted about this, and you're right. If he hadn't scored, maybe it wouldn't have been a big issue, as they made it. But match of the day, they made a huge mention of this dive. But when's the last time you've seen them cover someone diving in the penalty area? And it happens every week. It happens most games. When do they actually make a segment of it?
Yeah.
And yet here we are with Havertz, and they make a big thing of it. Even Ian Wright said he should have been sent off, which is a bit strange.
It is strange.
But,
yeah. And plus, Thomas Frank, and I haven't actually seen Match of the Day. I don't know if they brought up. And Thomas Frank conveniently forgets the Trossard pullback.
Yeah, no, Match of the Day. Match of the Day.
Did they speak about it?
No.
The Gabriel shirt pull. I mean, when's a shirt pull? Shirt pull? Yeah.
I mean, the Gabriel, you could maybe I could see why not, but the Trossard, it was 100%. Yeah. You could see it as clear as day.
VAR,
how on earth?
Sandwiches and tea. That's their problem.
Well, he fouled last week, so his punishment is being the VAR at the Arsenal game, and this is what he does. It's as clear as you can see. He's grabbed hold of his shirt and he's pulled him. It's a penalty, and as I say, Match of the Day chose not to cover that one.
Yeah, and myself and Richard, just before we started, we were speaking about this. Somebody tweeted out, it was a great tweet, it was a side-by-side video of the penalty Man City got earlier on in the season against Man United. Richard, it was Højlund pulled back a Man City player and he got a penalty. Yeah. And the two clips were side-by-side and they were identical. It was the exact same incident.
Yeah, it was Rodri, wasn't it?
It was right, yeah. And City got the penalty, we didn't. And nobody's mentioning that. Yet they're trying to say Kai Havertz dived when there was contact. Like they're picking up on the wrong issues here, in my opinion.
Well, I love to hear the audio of that.
Yes,
one.
yeah.
I love to hear it because
how
they looked at that and went, no, that's not a penalty, is beyond me. Beyond me.
What do you think, Richard? Because you're being a bit quiet, mate.
The Højlund one wasn't. I mean, it definitely wasn't a penalty because he didn't have hold of him long enough. It's about how long and it was just a quick tug back. To yesterday, I thought Havertz was going down before the contact was made.
Yeah.
And on another day, another referee gives him a yellow. So
I agree, he was going down.
Roundabouts, and you've got. In Frank's position, he's in trouble at the bottom of the table because of the amount of injuries he's got defensively. So I'm not surprised he brought something like that up because at the moment everything matters. I think they'll be all right because they've got teams like Sheffield United and Luton, and the teams are below them coming up in the next run of games. They've got their tough games out of the way now.
Do you know what my most hated pundit saying is? I've seen those given. Shut up. You know what I mean? They just don't get given against Arsenal. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying there's an agenda. I'm not getting on that wagon. They just don't get given against Arsenal.
Yeah, I like the Neville commentary late in the game today when Doc put that high foot up. He was wanting the Liverpool penalty there. He was almost begging for it himself.
Well, I thought they were going to give it. I really did. I thought this is it.
Did you think it was a penalty? Have you all watched it? Did you think it was a penalty?
What, the Man City one?
The Man City one.
Yeah, no, I didn't think it was. The reason I don't think it was it was more foot up than like a flying into the player.
That's the 100%. Best. That's the best case of when there's a penalty, not a penalty. Do you know what I mean?
I actually agree with you. I actually think it's not a penalty.
So what can he do?
Yeah, I think the player's running into him rather than the other way around.
Yes.
And he's got his foot on the ball already, and he forced the rotation of the ball for his legs to go down and across his midriff. Well, and I think you'll probably find that he really didn't hit him that hard at all, really. It just kind of grazed his shirt. But for me, and I know people are going to say it's biased and I wanted a draw, I actually think that I wanted a City win.
Yeah, a City win would have done us better.
I
Yes.
think
No,
it would because
I'm going with the draw. I think the draw, just because, right? I'll tell you why I'm going with the draw. And I was a little bit crazy today, guys, because I went out for a Mother's Day meal with the missus and wearing my Arsenal top, you know, as you do, in a pub with a load of Man City supporters, load of Geordie supporters, because I live in Newcastle, and a load of Liverpool supporters. And as soon as I walked in the door, they were all, "Whoa," all this sort of stuff. I said, "Yeah, don't worry, lads, I'm looking for a draw." And they're going, "Oh, it won't be a draw. It'll be 3-2, 3-3, whatever. Not 3-3, 3-1 or whatever." And it ended a draw, you know. So I must have jinxed them all, do you know what I mean? But look, end of the day, the draw, what it'll do, and this is why I wanted to take the draw, we are now 1 point clear, right? Now that's nothing. We know that's nothing, and I'm not getting all, "Oh, we're going to win the league," because that would be stupid, right? First of all, but it does give you that edge. I know it's only 1 point, but it does give you that edge. And we're coming into an international break, so we're at top of the league until, as far as I know, the international break is over. Yeah, so it just gives you that edge going into the next section of the season, I think, and I don't think it's such a bad thing, to be honest with you.
Yeah. I think, yeah, I agree. I was thinking about this earlier on, that I wonder, now it may have no impact, but I wonder how psychologically, even in a small way, us being top of the league for 3 weeks now, essentially, until we play Man City, like, it's just going to sit there and fester a little bit for the opposition. And like, it may have no bearing whatsoever. Like, we're level on points with Liverpool. We're ahead of them on goal difference, but we're 1 point ahead of City, obviously. And I just think having these 3 weeks now where we're top of the league, it's Arsenal top of the league, it's not Man City, like the narrative changes a tiny little bit for these next 3 weeks. If there had been a winner either way today in that Liverpool City game, I was very happy with the draw, I have to say.
We're in the conversation now. We have to be, don't we? Because we're top.
Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong. If we were in second, that'd be just as good, because you can go under the radar. You can just go about your business. You can go about your business, and you, as I've said before, you can only beat what's in front of you. Yeah. And being in second place does take the pressure off you a bit. But I just think at the moment, to be top of the league with that 3 week break or 2.5 week break, whatever it may be, right? With that break, it's psychological.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. Do you not think it kind of risens the beast though? So it basically puts a bit more aggression into there. That it's going to be, you know, they're going to have stewed on it for 3 weeks, and all of a sudden they come out of back traps. A bit like we come out of the traps coming back from Dubai. You know, it's kind of let everything settle down, and then they come back and they're on fire more than they have been, because they haven't been. Have they?
The only thing you can say there is what will be will be. You just, you know, you go with the flow again, don't you? You just go with the flow again.
Yeah.
And I think like, we are top, but it's only on goal difference. I think it's a different mentality to last season, when we were like, at one point we were 8 points clear. Now City had games in hand, and that was completely different, because, like, you know, it was ours to lose in many ways. Whereas, yes, we're top at the moment, but like, I don't think City or Liverpool will be like crazily worried about it, because it's literally 1 point with City and goal difference for Liverpool. I think it's a slightly different mentality to us being like, I completely agree that sometimes it's better to be the chaser than the chasee, or the one being chased. But we're not in last season's situation where we're miles ahead. Like, it's still very, very close, obviously.
And we've still got good players to come back as well, boys. You've got to remember that.
Yeah.
I think Timber's got to come back. Tomiyasu's got to come back. The bench was strong yesterday.
Yeah.
You know? So, be honest with me, guys. I've got a question for you, right? So,
Can I before you do the question, hold that thought. We're going to go through some of these chats, mate, because I've kind of neglected it and trying to get a word in edgeways, and you know, I just don't want to neglect the chats. So just let's go through these and hold your question, and we'll go for that. So that's Bray. Obviously, hello, hi Bray.
Oh,
it's not falling apart yet. Evening, Mark. we will try to have a good show. So far, so good, I think. Hey, George. How are you doing, my friend?
Hi, George.
Got one from Georgina. Good luck. You'll smash it. Thanks, Georgina. Oh, and she says there's one for you there, Rob.
Oh, thanks, Georgina. Bless you. Thank you.
He's already had his presents, Georgina. We got Liam in the house. There it is. Looking forward to the show. Ian, never trust anyone.
Myself and George were doing baby Guinness shots at the bar last night.
Yeah. Yeah, and then Liam, I think that's something to do with being top of the perch, as George is also put top of the perch. And then this one, which is kind of interesting because we're all home the last games, so it kind of, I think it kind of neutralises it, doesn't it? By the time it gets to that point.
Yeah,
I just hope Everton are relegated by then.
Do you think Everton will give us trouble at home though?
Nah.
No,
I think away from home we've always struggled, but I think at home we've
become a fortress, lads. We have become a fortress.
Like if they were fighting for their lives, maybe. But I think, as Rob says, maybe they'll already be down. But my feeling is that they'll be safe by then. I think teams below them. I think either Forest or Luton are going to be the third team, because Sheffield United and Burnley are gone, and it's one then out of the rest of them. So I think Everton will be safe. So if it's down to the last game and we're top, unless we have a meltdown, I'd be confident that we turn Everton over in a big way.
This other investigation, is that going to be after when the season finishes?
April.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
So
April. Come in just before the end.
It's going to be before the end, but the appeal could take into the end of the season. So obviously they could be in a position where they're relegated, and the appeal could be heard, and that could be overturned. So this whole thing, what do you think about this whole investigation thing? Because I think it's been handled appallingly.
Yeah, I agree. Like to be taking points off teams mid-season, giving them back mid-season, a couple of months later, a few months later, and then having more hanging over their heads. For me, I don't know what you guys think, but for me, this should be dealt with at the end of the season, for the following season. To have it changing in the middle, I think is crazy. It's not fair on the team involved or the teams around them, I don't think.
Yeah.
I slightly disagree. Only slightly though, Ian, right? In the respect of, how can they have deducted points off of Everton already, right? And yet Man City have admitted liability, yet nothing's been done.
Have they admitted it?
No.
Yeah, of course. Yes, they have. They have.
Have they? I thought that there were charges. I didn't think they admitted anything.
Well, I took it as that's on me then, because I took it as an admittance. So I thought it was
the way City fought and they've even fought over the panel that's investigating. They didn't want certain members of that panel on there, and they didn't want the QC, who's the chairman, picking the panel because he's an Arsenal supporter, and they've been fighting it all the way. And it's the Everton one. They admitted that they did wrong, but they thought there were things disregards they put in were okay, and the Premier League turned round and said no, not all those disregards are okay. So
the way it was worded and the way I understood it, I took it as an admittance. Yeah, so that's on me.
Yeah.
I'm not saying I'm not criticizing you. I'm just saying. As far as I was aware, as far as I was aware, that they hadn't admitted anything. They basically just said they acknowledged the investigation, and that was.
How many charges are there though? There's about 140, isn't there?
115.
Well, there's 115, but I think there's 2 being added since then.
Oh,
Right. Okay. So I'm even out with
I
that
think
because
that's
I'd read it was about
117
100.
now.
I'd read it was about 138. So you see, we're both.
Yeah,
we're all
you might
reading
be
something
looking
different. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You like to
Yeah.
think, wouldn't you, that there is real evidence
Well, there's got to be if there's 100 odd charges.
even if there's 70 charges that they can prove. Do you know what I mean?
There's no smoke without fire, is there?
It's what the question is what's
going to happen?
What's going to be proved? Is it just non-cooperation, or is it actual inflation of sponsorship deals? Because they're two different aspects, and the punishments will be different. So
yeah, I mean that's the worst thing, isn't it? I mean they've got some ridiculous things on there, which are apparently the length of grass and all sorts of things. So there's obviously some null ones which are probably going to get put in a folder, and you do one thing together.
The Everton point about waiting to deal with it after the season, and if there's any points. The only issue with that is if they are guilty of something, and then they get deducted points for next season, then the team that goes down this season will say, well, hold on, we were in the same league as them, and they've cheated, and we've gone down, and they haven't.
So if they get found guilty, Rob, right, and guys, if they get found guilty, are they going to do to them what they did to Rangers, where they sent them to the bottom league of the Scottish leagues?
Oh, what, City?
Yeah.
Yeah,
well, they should do.
Like that.
Something like that. 115 charges.
Yeah. So they're going to
these are serious charges. These are serious charges as well. These aren't Everton charges.
Yeah.
These are serious charges.
Yeah.
They should
Everton is one charge, by the way. Everton is one charge.
Yeah, exactly. They should be bounced to the bleeding Isthmian League or something.
Do you think they will, though?
Yes. No, it's right, isn't it, though? It's right. And like you said, it don't matter if it's 70 charges, but let's be honest, it don't matter if it's one charge.
Mm.
Yeah.
If you're going to be stringent from the beginning to the end, you know, and it'll make other teams aware that, hold on, we can't get away with these kind of things, you know?
Yeah. And as you said, Rob, like these are highly serious charges. The Everton one was because they overspent basically. It was financial fair play. Like Man City have falsified accounting documents.
Exactly.
This is fraud. Right? This is fraud we're talking about.
Yeah. He's getting 25 years in prison.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Obviously, this is all allegedly.
Yeah, allegedly, yes.
Allegedly, yes.
Yeah,
but do you think they're actually going to get punished?
The point is that you can't dock City points, because you dock City 30, 40 points, they're not getting relegated, are they?
No. They've just had one season off.
There's no punishment, is there? There's no punishment.
No.
In kind of answer to your question, Sparks, I think City are going to bury this, and the Saudi backing that they have are going to bury this in litigation for years and years and years and years. And there may be a punishment at some stage, but I don't expect it to happen soon. I think like there's a lot of money behind Man City, and in some cases these court cases are about who has the most money, and they have more money than the Premier League, and I think that's why it's taken so long. I think the Premier League are lining up their ducks so that it's nailed on, that they have all their evidence. But even still, I think City will come back strong at them. We can live in hope that they get punished.
Yeah, I'm going to be more positive. I think they sorted out a date, haven't they, for it to start?
Yeah,
next year.
Which is great. At least they did that. Yes, that's
So
the thing is that once it's over, City can go back to a Premier League panel and appeal it. So you and they can probably. So you're looking probably 2 years.
They can only appeal it to the Premier League, though. They can't.
Yes, they can only appeal it to the Premier League, but they can do what have done this time. I don't want those people on the panel. I don't want those people on the panel, and they can delay a bit more.
That's more like a court case, isn't it?
A little bit more. Yeah. So it's hard. We don't know if they're guilty, but
in the meantime.
It's what they're guilty of, isn't it? This is a point. There's so much air, but they've got to be guilty of something.
In the meantime, they do seem to be clamping down on things like there was something last week, wasn't there, about sponsorship deals. So you've got to make sure that they're restricted if they've got something to do with
does that not lead you to think that something isn't in place now?
No,
So
I don't think there
they're
is.
basically closing the loophole.
Yes.
That is there. So is that a way out for them that they've got that loophole already and they're now trying to close it because they're getting away with it because they found a loophole?
Yeah, there are certain. I think there's a concern that if City have used the loophole, then other big owners will do the same.
Yeah.
Well, you've got to throw Chelsea in the mix, haven't you, with their 8-year contracts?
Yeah. Well,
that's been closed,
and that's been closed as well. Yeah.
Yeah, I know, but that's only because people became aware of it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I mean, but do you not see that as just clever accounting? That's just the fact that you can do that. Well, why didn't other clubs think of that?
Guys, let me put it this way.
It's not illegal, but it's immoral, isn't it? It's the morality of things. You might not be illegal, but is it really moral? And
is it immoral though if they've got the money to fund that?
Yeah, but the question you've got to ask as well, right? So let's just say, Ian, you're going to sign for Arsenal, right?
Come on,
right? Your favourite club, your boyhood club. You'd probably sign for 8 years, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Right? If someone then Chelsea came along and said, "Do you want to play for us for 8 years?" You're going to go, what player actually wants to be signed to a club for 8 years? There's not many of them.
No.
So it's not about immoral. It's putting you in a sense. It's like a jail sentence.
Yeah, exactly. I think I'm delighted Chelsea have done this, and it is a loophole. And what they've done is they've rewarded very young players with very high contracts for 8 years, which means that they've no incentive to go out and work their arses off, to start off on a lower wage.
I agree completely with that.
To work their way up and earn their big salary. They've got it already. And you look at the Chelsea players now; they're sauntering around the pitch. They don't care.
It's hilarious, isn't it? It's so
unbelievable, and they do not. They will not be able to sell these players. Like, I'm delighted Chelsea did it. In one way, you could call it clever accounting from the I can never say this word, amortization point of view. It is clever, but from a strategic point of view, Chelsea have scored a massive own goal there, like a massive one, I think.
I mean, Mudryk, he's on an 8 year, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, most of them.
All of them are.
Yeah.
And
I think they closed it to 5 years now, haven't they?
Yes, 5 years. Yeah, in line with UEFA.
Yeah.
I mean, we did dodge a bullet there, didn't we?
Definitely. But they must have been thinking while he was doing these deals that they will be getting European football next season to finance this.
Yeah.
And
they're not.
Is that the agent signing the contract, or is it the player?
Well, in Mudryk's case, it was definitely
the agent.
Agents, yeah.
Yeah.
And the sporting director of the selling club as well was a bit naughty, I think.
Yeah.
Oh dear.
Right, can I go back to my question before you?
Oh yeah.
I mean, can we finish these? Let's finish the comments, and then we'll do it as quick as we can. We'll try not to diversify as much as we did there. So, would you guys play party? If we can, just try and punchline answers a little bit quicker for a minute, and just while we get through these questions, and then we can get back to where we're going.
Jorginho for me.
Again, City.
Partey's not good now. He's done. He should be out of the summer. Jorginho for me.
Okay, Rob.
The problem with Partey is he's just coming back. Does he need a couple of games to get going again, finding his top form, by which time he's probably injured again. So Jorginho's showed that, he can do it.
Yeah, okay.
I mean, if he's fully fit, party. It depends on whether he's fit enough for that.
If he's match fit, right? So he's
yes.
proper match fit rather than fit.
Yeah. It's just because he adds a physicality,
A bit of control, yeah.
No,
I mean, you can't.
Game. I think he's more physical, isn't he?
Yeah.
Sorry, guys, I disagree, but there we go.
But that's what we're here for, you know. At the end of the day,
it's a good problem, though, isn't it?
It's a nice problem.
We're not here to shut anybody down. It's just
I just think, yeah.
I see that. I can see that from your reaction when he said that. So yeah. But yeah, Zoom evening. How are we doing? Are we good? If Martial isn't fit to play Tuesday, who would you start from Jesus from the left or leave Trossard in there?
That's a good question. I would, like, Jesus isn't fully match fit, but maybe we could get 60 minutes out of him. But the question is, do you bring him on as an impact sub?
Bring him on later?
Yeah, do you bring him on as an impact sub, or do you play him at the start? I think we're going to need to start really fast against Porto, and we need to shut them down quick. They're going to try the dark arts like they did over in Porto, much like what Brentford just did to us as well. And I think we need to start strong. Trossard is obviously an excellent player. He's very different in styles. I think for me, I'd probably say Jesus, but he won't last 90 minutes.
Okay.
I totally agree. I'd have Jesus starting. He's our Champions League player. He's performing so well in that tournament. And Trossard would be great to bring on later on. We need an early goal because their acting is going to be so frustrating. If it's still 0-0 towards the end, it's going to be. I can't even imagine how bad it's going to be. So yes, we need a quick start.
Yeah, I mean, if you're going out of those two, I'd probably have gone Jesus, but I'd have gone the dark horse and gone the SR if Martinelli's not fit, because he's got a little bit of he's a bit more direct and he's probably a little bit pacier than Jorginho, but it gives something different for Porto to think about.
Yeah, cool. Right, okay, we'll just go through the rest of these. So we've got Jesus ready to walk away. I think that's the swapping of the armband.
No.
Yeah, was the first card a yellow card justified?
Absolutely not.
It wasn't for me either. I think the first yellow was very soft.
They both did exactly the same thing. It's just that his arm just.
He was making a statement, wasn't he? He was kind of making a statement in the game. I'm in control, and I think that's what the yellow card was about for me.
Yeah.
Do you not think?
Yeah, I think it's one of those, the age-old debate. When players jump to head a ball, the arms go up, and then it's just down to, do people use that as an excuse, and people, because some players do and use the elbow on purpose or the arm on purpose, but for this one, John probably makes a good point that it's
confusing. All right, so he's hitting with his elbows. What is the referee saying to give him a yellow?
Endangering a play.
So it's a red then.
Yeah,
it is.
Yeah,
it's not a yellow.
It's endangering
for an elbow.
I agree 100%, Rob. It's either no card or it's a red card.
Yeah.
But the thing is, as well, it's like we said earlier, the referee was card happy. If he looked at him the wrong way yesterday, you were going to get a card. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I agree. Rob makes the best point.
Yeah.
If it's dangerous, it's a red, isn't it? Simple as.
Yeah, it wasn't dangerous.
It's not dangerous.
Together.
Yeah, it was coming. It was coming
absolutely.
Together.
And obviously the physicality of a centre back to a centre forward. You look at the size of some of these guys. And it's just like, and they're literally on the floor. And I know I'm contradicting because Havertz went down easy. I still think he went down easily, though I don't think it's a dive. I think there's contact. I think he's got every reason to go down. But you look at a centre back and you look at the size of these guys, and they're proper units. And they can't.
The best one yesterday was when the player was down. I can't remember his name, and Arsenal were attacking, and we played on. And the keeper got the ball.
The guy got hit in the chest.
Yes. The keeper kicked the ball off. The referee was saying, "Right, you've got to get off the pitch to be treated." He just stood up.
Yeah. It's typical the dark art. And somebody sent a great tweet out. I can't remember who it was, saying that after Havertz scored the winner, not one Brentford player went down after that. No. Not once.
Yeah. I think you just read my timeline. Anyway,
was it you that said? Was it you?
I think so. Yeah. So I put that out, and the other one you said about as well. I'm sure that was mine as well. But it was like it was funny, wasn't it? Because it's just like all the dark arts evaporated at that point. Yeah. Like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah. And we're pretty good at the dark arts ourselves. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But that's good. It's a good thing. Yeah.
Never used to be. Right, we're nearly there. Let's get through. I don't think we will win. Glad there's too many London derbies in Prem at the moment. Every time we play in the same area, feels like a cup final. Well, every game is a cup final, right? So
it is.
We've got 10 of them, so strap yourself
in the season.
And we're doing well in the London derbies. We've got a good record.
Well, we have the best record, don't we?
Yes, we do.
Yeah, we're top of the London derby table.
London is red. Simple as.
Well, it is appropriate if London is red, isn't it? But we've done really well in them. So let's keep them coming. I mean, obviously, we didn't lose to West Ham, so I guess the West Ham was not so.
That was a little blot at the top of the
not glad.
Oh God! If only we didn't have that little period, it would be clear.
I was referring to. I was a bit late with that one. I'm sorry. I think City are challenging every single one of the charges. I believe so as well.
They will, won't they? They've got to.
So evening all in the chat and panel. Evening, hello. Jeanette Maguire says hello. How are we doing?
Hello, Jeanette.
And we got. Please don't forget. So don't forget to click the like and subscribe buttons to the channel, and to turn on the bell. Party treats club like a holiday fund, always injured. I mean, I'm sure he doesn't do that on purpose. You know, at the end of the day, he's got to match their legs.
Yeah, he had his best season last season was 30 odd games, wasn't it? Uninjured, so.
I mean, but I think the most appropriate kind of stat with that is that every big game he was injured, wasn't he?
Yeah, and just to back up what Des was saying, because I do agree with what Des was saying earlier on. I don't think it's wise to invest too many minutes into Thomas Partey for the rest of this season. And I say that as somebody, I love Thomas Partey. He's one of the best players I've ever seen live, but he's not that player anymore. He's very injury prone, and we shouldn't, I don't think, donate too many minutes to him. He can do a job for us, maybe come on towards the end of games, but I don't think we should be investing minutes in him at this point in time.
I'm not going to say anything else about Partey. I could say loads.
What if somebody else gets injured though?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, look, don't get me wrong. I'm talking if we're fully fit, which probably won't happen. I genuinely love Thomas Partey. I think he's an amazing player, but he's gone in the summer. And if we need him, he'll do a decent job. But I think we've moved beyond him at this point.
100%, totally agree. Really well made.
I agree at the end of the season, but obviously now we still need to. Obviously, if we're 4 goals up,
he can still do it. He can still do a job for us.
Yeah, 100%. I just wouldn't. He's not the future. Is my point.
I've got to say one thing, right? I've just got to say. Sorry, guys. I don't get the hype. I don't get it. He can't make a 5-yard pass.
Well, I don't agree with that.
No,
I don't agree with that. We have 2 messages left, so let's do the 2 messages because I feel
I'm not here to stir it up. It's just what I think.
No. I mean, people have got opinions on that, so you've probably triggered an opinion, and you've triggered one of mine. So let's do this, and then we can just do that. Nelson more similar to Nelly. So I guess he's talking about starting lineup on Tuesday.
Possibly, yeah.
Would Nelson start over Trossard or Jesus on the left?
No, because Jesus has got the experience.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's got the Champions League experience, hasn't he? So you would want to start with Jesus. I'm not saying that Nelson couldn't come on later instead of Trossard, because they're both good. But you'd have to start with Jesus for the experience.
Yeah.
Okay, do we all agree on that?
Yeah,
absolutely,
100%. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Thought Nelson was lively when he came on. Yeah. I mean, again, he can do it. Whether he can do it on the European stage is a different matter completely, isn't it? It's just
Yeah.
Nice.
Look, and as Rob said earlier on, Jesus is Mr. Champions League. He's the guy to do it ahead of Nelson, I think.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. Completely agree. Right, so Des thinks that Partey can't do a 5-yard pass. Do we agree with that?
Guys, was it his second touch yesterday where he just kicked it out of the ground?
Yeah. No, I agree. Like, I 100% agree. Since the few cameos that Thomas Partey has done this season, he's been terrible. But you have to remember, he hadn't played any minutes since October, I think it was, or maybe even earlier. I'm talking about a fully fit Thomas Partey is a beast, but right now he's not.
Well, don't ever send Thomas Partey to play for his national team again, because that's when he always gets injured.
Yeah, I agree with that. Yes, yeah.
But when Partey plays a couple of games, he's on his game. He's absolutely sublime. It's like a Rolls Royce.
I agree.
It's beautiful to watch.
Yeah.
And the same reason what this question, Zinni offered nothing. He's just come back from an injury.
Yeah. I know.
Players
That's why I put it up there.
Yeah, players don't just come back and take off where they left off. They need minutes to get going again.
Yeah.
Do you know what?
Getting over the injury is one thing. Getting to match fitness is completely another.
Yeah. Do you know what I like about the Kivior thing? Okay, he tried him on Zinni's side, tried to invert. He couldn't invert. It didn't suit him.
Yeah.
So what I like what Arteta's done with Kivior now, and this is why he fits in better than Zinni, to be honest with you, he's letting him defend. And he's letting Benny Blanco do the inverting. Yeah, he's letting Kivior defend and do what he knows what to do. Yeah. So that he's taken that left back position as his own. To be honest with you, unless you guys disagree, like, but I think he should be staying all the time now.
And what's even more impressive about that as well, I 100% agree, Des. Arteta did for a couple of games try the inversion thing with him, but it didn't work, and he changed it. But what's even more impressive is that Kivior is a centre half, so like it's even more impressive that he's able to do as well as he has at left back, considering his natural position is as a centre half. I think he's been really good since he's come in.
So the next point, though, guys, is when Timber comes back, what happens to Kivior?
Yeah,
we have a squad again.
What a problem to have. All these problems.
Exactly. But it's getting to the point with Arsenal, isn't it? You've got to earn the spot.
Yeah.
We were saying this yesterday. I mean, I mentioned it to Ian as well. It was basically where we could always pick the lineup, and we'd be pretty much either nailed on or we'd be one off. Now we kind of get into a stage, aren't we, where we can always have options. There's always another option.
Yeah. There's only probably two positions we haven't got that, and that's Saka on the right and a natural challenger to Saliba. I mean, you could probably shoehorn Kivior or Tomiyasu in there, but they're both left-footed. So
I think you'd put Timber. I think you'd put Timber in there before Kivior or Tomiyasu, but
or Ben White would be an option there as well.
Yeah.
Like, he's a natural right-footed player. Like our squad depth now, I know a fully fit squad is a myth. It just doesn't happen. But we're actually getting close to that. And our squad depth, when you break it down, and again, myself and Sparky were talking yesterday on the way up to the pub after the game. That like when you can put different players into different positions, Arteta has us set up that way, and I think out of Liverpool and Man City and us, I think we've got the best squad out of everybody when fully fit. Like we have really good players to come in, nearly in every position. I agree with you, Richard, as well. we don't. For me, the two positions we don't have a huge amount of depth is Saka, because who comes in and plays second fiddle to Saka, because he's just never injured. But the other one, like we would be really stuck if Martin Odegaard got injured. We don't have great depth where he is.
I'd agree with that one.
Like it's impossible to replace him. And I just hope that him and Saka stay fully fit, because in other positions we can jockey around and put players in, but those two positions we just don't have the quality to come in, I don't think.
And the best thing about it, it's future proof for the next few years. It's so young.
Yeah.
But he's tried Vieira in Saka's position as well.
He did okay. Did you not guys think he did okay?
I think it was like all right. It wasn't anything brilliant, but he did okay, didn't he?
Did okay. Yeah. Again, he's just coming back from injury, though, isn't he? So it's going to take him a bit of time to get back up to speed. But we're getting these players back for this running, which means puts us in good stead. We know we have to win all our games, and that if we do that, we see where we land at the end of the season.
Yeah.
Where do we see Vieira? Do we think he's actually a substitute for Odegaard, and he's just putting him out on the right just to give him minutes, or do you think?
I think he can play anywhere across sort of left 8, right 8, and that right wing. It's just really just he just now has to prove that he's worth a starting spot.
Yeah, I agree with Richard there. Like, he can play across that kind of attacking midfield area, but I think you're right as well, Sparksy, that he did go on in the game when Saka came off to get minutes into him on the wing. Yeah. I don't think that's where he'd be playing. Ideally
wants to play him. He's probably just felt he needs a rest, and everybody else can kind of deal with the width.
Yeah,
and he's put him out there just to basically get something in his legs.
Yeah, and that was the beauty of
he's probably seen as a substitute for Odegaard, isn't he?
Yeah,
I think he is Odegaard's cover. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that was the beauty. The beauty of these games that we were winning 5-0 and 6-0 was being able to take players off, resting the likes of Saka, and even taking Odegaard off and getting minutes into the legs.
Squad play.
Yeah,
exactly.
That was huge. That was massive.
That's what my question was about yesterday, right? We've been I'm expanding on what you're saying, Ian, right?
Yeah.
We've been winning 5-6-0 for the last 3 or 4 games, 5 games, whatever it may be. Yeah. What I was going to ask you what your predictions, guys, were for yesterday. I actually went 3-0. So I wasn't expecting like a flood of goals, but I was expecting a good win. Don't get me wrong, I'm happy with the 2-1. But Wissa's goal,
I think I went 3-1.
Wissa's goal was a freak goal.
Yeah.
I put down for a 3-0 win. What did you guys put down for? Or did you not? Do you not?
Yeah, I went 4-1. I always thought we were going to concede, and not because of Aaron Ramsdale. I just think we have a habit of conceding at home. But I went 4-1 because I thought we would dominate the game, and we did. It was the timing of their goal, I think, that kind of made it as close as it was in the end. If we had gone in 1-0 at half time, I think we probably would have won that too, and you probably might have gotten your 3-0, Des. I just think that goal sucker punched us and made us more nervous for the second half than we needed to be. And I'm delighted. Any win whatsoever is great, but a lot of people did go for big wins. But just that kind of half-time goal, or the goal just before half-time, quashed all that, I think.
Yeah, Richard, what did you have?
I had 3-1. I felt Brentford would score, and I didn't expect it to be a big gap, but I expected a 3-1.
Yeah, and Rob?
Well, you see, I'm always very positive about Arsenal, but whenever we go into any games, I have this natural feeling of, is this going to be one of those? But then you start watching it and you just relax. You think, oh, we're in control. So I thought, especially when we scored that early goal, I thought this is going to be very comfortable. We'll probably score another couple. I'll then just take the foot off the gas. So yeah, I couldn't really call it before the game because it's getting so nervy now.
Did you manage to watch it live, or were you just?
No, because it was before we actually went out, so I did manage to. Right. People arrived towards the end of the second half, so I was making excuses.
Yeah.
So in the end, we all ended up from the kitchen into the living room. And then that's bottom with me going absolutely berserk.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. Well, I mean,
it was a great moment, wasn't it?
The
relief, relief, because I didn't think it was going to come.
Absolute relief, yeah.
I
didn't think it was coming at the end, but yeah.
I think you saw what it meant by Havertz' celebration. That's the first time he's actually looked interested in a celebration, hasn't it?
Well, is that his first clutch goal?
No, he scored away to Brentford
earlier in the season.
Of course he did, yeah.
Yes.
And there's been a couple others as well, hasn't there?
Yeah.
Was it Luton?
Luton, yeah.
Oh, you know Luton as well, yeah.
Yeah, but you're absolutely right. You could see he properly celebrated that goal. That he had a lot of feeling about that one.
Yeah, so
maybe
he's got that confidence there now.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's got into him.
Yeah, I had 3-1 as well. But what were your what did you think about Havertz before he arrived? Though were you actually in the camp of he's not good enough, or he's overpriced, or did you just not want him at all, or what were your thoughts?
When I first heard, my initial natural reaction, because it was all about when Chelsea were in real trouble with all the action that was going on. I thought, I don't want to buy any of their players and help them out. That was my first reaction. And I was very lukewarm, I must admit. And then it started, but I wasn't saying it. I was saying nothing negative about him because Arteta believed in him. And as far as I'm concerned, I'm going to stay with Arteta. Let's see how this season turns out. Was my attitude. And I'm glad I took that attitude.
Yeah, I'm completely in that camp. So yeah.
Well, for me, I was fed up of being Chelsea's graveyard.
Yes.
Yeah. So for me, it was possibly wasting 65 million quid. Possibly. Okay, but I'll give him a chance. And then, of course, he didn't really kick in for the first 5 games, did he? It was like, well, you paid 6. So also, it's an automatic thing, possibly, that I just went, oh dear, here we go. You know what I mean? But what I mean by their graveyard, you know what I mean, don't you? Louise,
exactly.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. We all know what you mean.
I agree with Rob.
Check is the worst one for me.
Yeah. I mean, I agree with Rob. I didn't want to help him out. I didn't, But as they say, every dog has their day. You've got to give him a chance. And we've done that with him. And he's paying us back.
Yeah. And I think one of the big differences with Havertz is that like he's so much younger than the other guys we bought from Chelsea. Like the graveyard, as you described, is kind of like a retirement home. There was Chelsea players leaving Chelsea to come to Arsenal in their 30s, whereas Kai Havertz is like was he 24, 23, 24? And I think that's a big difference as well. And I was the same. I wasn't overly enamoured by us buying him at the start. But I can't remember who was our first home game. I was at our first home game, or the first game that he played.
Forest.
Was he signed by then? Whatever his first home game was, I remember looking at him, and I could see the physicality of him. He was holding up the ball. He didn't have an amazing game, but I thought he played well. And I just it stuck with me, and I just got a little glimpse of what we're seeing now. Like it's a much improved version of that. Whereas a lot of people were expecting, goals straight away and assists and all this kind of stuff. But he's so much more than that. And we're seeing that now.
His touch is fantastic.
It's unbelievable, yeah. His touch for the last goal, for Ben White's goal against Sheffield United, when Jorginho played the ball over the top and he killed the ball with his right foot and chopped it inside. It was sensational. It was like so good.
He never seemed lose the ball.
That game, wasn't he?
He can spin on a sixpence. I'll give him that.
Yeah.
What I did read something interesting, which actually started to make me wonder if he was a good move, because we haven't got many players who can score with their head. Yeah. And at Chelsea, I think he had ridiculous numbers for goals of headers. It was like something crazy, like 97% of his goals were headers, or something like that. And that's something that Arsenal have been missing.
Yeah.
In the area. I mean, I've been watching, no disrespect, love Saka to bits, but I've been watching Saka trying to head a ball lately. It's like a T-foul frying pan. It just slips off.
It's not just Saka, I promise you.
Oh no, I know, but I've just noticed it with him. Do you know what I mean? Because he's had a few goes lately, hasn't he?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And to be quite honest, if you see that header he scored yesterday, yeah, he put it right next to the goalkeeper. But I just thought he had enough time. He could have just gone either side if he wanted to. But he just decided, right, full neck, the giraffe neck, wasn't it? The full giraffe neck.
Yeah.
Bosh.
Lovely cross.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I mean, Benny Blanco was my man of the match yesterday. I've got to be honest.
Yeah,
I agree.
I had a lineup for that, but you've nicked that one. But,
oh, sorry, dude. Sorry.
So, yeah, that's. We might as well go into that since you've brought it to there. But yeah, before we go actually to that, because obviously Richard didn't have a say there. So, Richard, where were you on the Havertz?
Well, I felt that if Edu and Arteta wanted him, we had to pay the price it took to get him, and I believe they would get Arteta would get something out of him, and it was just about how long it would take him to settle into the team, settle into the system, and find his feet. And he just had to be patient. And he's showing what he can do. He's already equalled his best season at Chelsea, and we're not ended yet. And he's showing he's versatile, and in big moments he comes up. Yeah,
so did you see it more?
With what Des said, I think it shows that a couple times this season, the Liverpool game and yesterday, where he's gone one-on-one, he sort of thinks too much about it, but he's had a few good headers.
Yeah, was that more faith in Arteta though, or the player?
I always thought there was a player with him at Chelsea. I remember Salah at Chelsea. I remember Hazard at Chelsea. Sometimes players don't fit certain clubs.
De Bruyne at Chelsea as well, yeah.
Yeah, and you sort of sometimes it's certain players fit clubs better than other clubs. The style they play, the system that are employed. So I felt you don't go from the player he was at Bayer Leverkusen to what he was at Chelsea. Something along the way happened, and if you can cajole him, give him that confidence, give him good enough instruction, and get him playing again, but you'd have a decent player there.
I mean, Arteta has this skill of making players better.
Well, you look at Gabriel. I mean, him on the ball now. He's improved his ball playing. He was always a good defender, but I wouldn't have been very confident of him in the middle of the park with a ball at his feet, like just a couple of seasons ago. But now, in the middle of the park with a ball at his feet, he's pretty good.
Yeah, I was kind of. I think that was that. Will we say that as well, Ian? I can't remember now.
Yeah, like for me, just on Arteta making players better. Arteta's a coach. Like I wouldn't class Arteta as a manager. He's just a top quality, high end coach who knows how to get the best out of people, putting them into certain systems. And he's done it with nearly all the players. Like Ben White was a centre half, and we bought him, started paying him at right back, and everybody was like, "What's he doing?" Well, look at him now. Havertz, of course, was always going to take a little bit of time to bed in, but look at him now, and he's going to be even better next season. I just think Arteta is an unbelievable coach, and we're so lucky to have him.
Yeah, I completely agree with that, and I do think he gets a tune out of most players, and I think that he's kind of it's quite rare that players that are coming in aren't exactly fitting the system, and I just wanted to touch on the Cavillon one because the comment there is that he's good in corners defensively and attacking. He seems to have pretty much everything. Apart from the inward.
I think I saw something. It was either today or yesterday. Kyle Walker Man City said that Arsenal nicked Arteta off them. Have you guys seen that?
I haven't seen the direct quotes, but yeah, there is a huge feeling at Man City that we kind of tore them away.
Sorry, I had a few technical details there. It all just went funny.
All good, man. All good.
I'm back.
Welcome back.
Look at you talking about Sparks. You're talking about Kivior there, yeah?
Yeah, I was just talking about Kivior because he was that was the message. The last message he gave in, where he said it looks good in corners, and I was just going to do that before we went back onto Ben White.
But the thing is, Zumi, he's right. The guy's coming up for everything now and trying, and really, and it's what Ian said before, and Rob said before. Well, we've all said, young player. We're going to get another 5 years out of him. If we want to, we're going to get another 5 years out of Kidney, and he can only get better.
Yeah, absolutely.
He's starting to get better already. So if that's just showing part of the progress he can make, he's going to be a good little player.
Yeah, and also very importantly, he's getting a run in the team. It's very hard for players to be bit part players and come on for 20 minutes and then not play for 3 or 4 games. We're seeing Kivior's quality as well because he's playing regularly as well. So he's just a great addition, another great signing from Arteta and Edu, I think.
Yeah, I mean, it was a Liverpool game. It was probably a little bit too early for him to be doing the inversion and to do everything else. He should maybe have settled him in the team and then possibly done the inversion after the event. Yeah, so it was just, for me, it was just a little bit too fresh. Maybe it will work in the future, but who knows? But
he was exposed a little bit in a couple of games by what Arteta asked him to do. That's not who he is.
Guys, is it me, or do you think also this team is learning during the game?
I think they're all learning during the game.
Yeah, that's okay. So I am picking up on it. That's all right then. That's cool.
I think the manager is as well. I think it's obviously been. Sorry, go on. Sorry.
Go on.
So I was basically, even systematically, and I don't know if you saw it, but I did. I watched the Monday Night Football with Jesse March the other day, and that was very insightful. And I think that if you look at that and actually watch what players are being coached, you can kind of see that from that kind of analysis. And I wish that Sky did more of that analysis rather than just nonsense, bigging up Liverpool, bigging up Man United, or bigging up whatever, and just have people that know what they're talking about on shows, because we all learn things from it.
Arteta is treating things in game as well now a lot more.
Yeah, but I think it just gives us that bit of insight, doesn't it, to how they're thinking. Because we're all fans at the end of the day, and we only have opinions. We just see what's out there. And we have to make our own opinions, don't we? But if we're informed about things, then maybe the opinion changes a little bit.
There's an excellent YouTube video out there I was watching. Like I'm not super up on in-depth tactics, but there's the channel is called 442. Did you see it, Jay? There was a 10-minute video where he showed the average positions of the Arsenal players in 3 different games. It was Liverpool, Sheffield United, I think, and maybe, I can't remember, maybe Crystal Palace. But there was 3 different games, and we had completely different sets of average positions on the pitch, meaning that we were playing that game. We're not just going out playing the same. We had the same players. That was the amazing thing, is that it was the same 11 starting lineup, but we played tactically completely different in each game, depending on who we were playing against. And that's down to Arteta. And some of that's in game, as you said, Des. It's about learning as we're going along. It's actually, it was very insightful. And again, going along with what you're saying, Sparks, like Sky Sports don't do that kind of stuff. No, they're just they're sensationalizing other nonsense with their narratives. And I'd love to see more of the educational stuff,
because they want to blow X up or Twitter, whatever it's called. They'd rather do that than do tactics and stuff like that.
100%. Yeah.
It's funny what you're saying though, there, Ian, because Wenger was the opposite, wasn't he? He used to put teams out. Arsenal would just play the way they play. Doesn't matter who they play. We are going to play as Arsenal. Yeah, but it's complete roundabout now, isn't it? It depends who we're
100%. And even I can't remember who it was recently came out. An ex-player who played under Wenger said that it got to the point where, now I don't know how true this is, but this was coming from an ex-player saying that they never did any research on the other teams.
No.
They knew they were so good that they were just going to go out and play. Now maybe that's oversaid, but yeah, it's just a completely different thing. Arteta's a monster.
I think Keown said that, or I remember.
Was it Keown? Was it? Okay, yeah.
Ian, I love the way we press at the moment.
Yeah.
The way we press is just crazy.
It's fantastic.
It's sensational. See, what's so impressive about us at the moment is that we're so press resistant. We're so good on the ball, but we're also monsters off the ball with our press, as you said, Des. Like we kind of have the best of both worlds. It's a beauty to watch. Like, it really is. It's so different to teams of the past. And that's how we're able to stifle teams. We're constantly getting a high 70% of possession because of that. And you've hit the nail on the head there, Des. It's a beauty. It really is.
Yeah, I want to put an honourable mention to the Celebration Police out there.
I do like that.
Yeah, I think they'd have been needed in the coronet at some given points yesterday. They were definitely required. So I put in a little bit of a shift, but obviously we didn't have all the units. So yeah, 100% Blanco. So yeah, we were saying man of the match. Was that for everybody? Ben White.
He's so understated,
I think it's 4 or 5, to be honest. I mean, there were 4 or 5 players there that could have easily picked that up.
Name them. Who?
Rice, Jorginho, Havertz. You had Gabriel Saliba.
Yeah, but that pass, you've got to say, Rich, that pass to Declan Rice for the first.
Oh yeah, I'm not saying it wasn't.
You couldn't have picked it. You couldn't have picked it out the air and put it on his head even better than that.
Yeah, I'm not saying it isn't. I'm just saying, but
no, I know.
And it's been like that for about 4 or 5 matches, hasn't it? Where you could put a bunch of high players in there and say, take your pick. All of them were.
Yeah.
He just quietly does his job, doesn't he?
Yeah.
He's very understated.
And he doesn't watch football, lads.
Of course he doesn't.
It's almost.
No, of course he doesn't.
He's just having a laugh, isn't he? Goes on the pitch,
it,
has a bit of fun.
He's the big. I'm sorry, he's the biggest shithouse in the team. He blatantly watches football. We all know he watches football.
He hates being called Benny as well. He hates being called Benny. Prefers Benjamin.
Yeah.
He's 6 goal contributions this season now, so which is not bad, is it? So 4 assists, 2 goals.
Every out player now has scored a goal again this season.
It's very impressive.
Because Kivior scoring the other day was everybody.
I think Suarez is the only one who probably hasn't, but
Cedric.
I'm sure we can respect.
You know what? It's good. I'm not being funny, right? Cedric gets a bit of a bad rap. It's good to see him on the pitch. He's not a bad little player.
Yeah, do you know what? Yeah, Des, I do agree with you. He gets an awful lot of stick, and I said this on a pod recently that he won the Euros. Like he was a decent player, and like he's kind of he gets the butt end of all of our jokes. But the scary thing is that as well as it is that so many of our players are coming back, we might need him at some point, to play some serious minutes.
Exactly.
But I think we're a little bit unfair on Cedric. But I can see where the stick comes from. For me, Benny White was man of the match. It's great that he's back. He seems to be back to full fitness now. I think for a little while he wasn't fully fit. I don't think.
No, you're right.
Over Christmas, I think he was just off it a little bit, but he's back now. But I want to give. This might be controversial. I wonder what you think of this. As I was going back to the hotel last night after the game, and I was with a friend of mine, Mick. He might be watching. How you, Mick? And I said to him, who was your man of the match? And he looked at me and he said Aaron Ramsdale. And I thought about it and I said, you know what? I think it's worth giving him an honourable mention. I know he made the mess up, obviously, for the goal. But I thought in the second half, all things considered, he was sensational. The 2 saves that he made were unbelievable because it was 1-1 at the time.
How he twisted his body like that to get.
They were amazing saves.
Yeah, unbelievable.
You also got to think he had that throw out to Trossard, but if Trossard may be a bit quicker, that's in the back of the net.
If that was Martinelli, boys, that would have been a goal.
If you'd Martinelli, 100%. And I just think it's worthwhile saying, because again, in the same way that we might need Cedric, everybody was saying that this was Ramsdale's last game for Arsenal, and it might be. But if David Raya gets injured, we need Aaron Ramsdale to be full of confidence.
So let's go with that. Do you think it's his last game? Do you think he's going to go at the end of the season? Do you think he's going to stay?
Well, it depends on what. I mean, it depends on how Arteta views it, isn't it? Does he convince Ramsdale that it's better to be in a club competing and winning medals? Because if we win the title this season, he gets a Premier League winners medal. So it's that, or does he say no? Fair enough. You did me a solid. I'm going to let you go, and I'll get another one. It's a hard one. I'd like to see him stay and fight, because that day you want competition all over the field.
Yeah.
For me, I want him to stay. I think he should stay. From what I've read and photographs I've seen, he's still happy on the training ground. If he wasn't happy, then I could say, well, if you want to go, mate, you go. But he seems to be happy, so I don't know.
I hope he stays. I like him so much.
Same here.
But I just think he's just too good to be a number 2.
Yeah.
And with a heavy heart, I think he will be forced to leave. He would have people around him saying, you can't stay here if you're not playing number 1. You can't sit on the bench for another season.
Yeah.
It's sad, but I think that's what's going to happen.
Yeah, I agree 100%, Rob. He's too good to sit on the bench for the whole season. And exactly as the comment says there, DWTT says he wants to play for England. He wants the number 1. Pickford will be gone at some point in the near future. And Aaron Ramsdale's not going to be England's number 1 goalkeeper, or even in the England squad if he stays at Arsenal and sits on the bench. I love Ramsdale. I love him so much, and I would like him to stay from a selfish Arsenal perspective. But I think for him, I think he needs to go, and I think he will, and I wish him nothing but the best if it happens, because
I still say he's a big reason why where we are this season.
Last season he was incredible. And who would have thought that we'd be having this conversation?
Yeah.
No.
It came out of nowhere. But
you've got to say credit to Raya as well, because he's had his opportunity and he's stepped up.
Yeah, he's taken it. Yeah. A lot of you may remember, you may not. I mentioned this on another pod as well, that Arteta's first choice. Arteta tried to sign David Raya before he signed Aaron Ramsdale.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, the summer before, or maybe the summer of, or the summer before we signed Ramsdale, he tried to get Raya from Brentford, and Brentford wouldn't sell him. And
did we? I think it was sort of, we didn't like the price. So
maybe it could have been that Brentford were looking for too much. Yeah, and you know the old phrase of you never forget your first love, and I think Raya was always Arteta's first choice. And he saw the opportunity to get him on loan, even though Ramsdale was there. And look, I think it's worked out well. You're 100% right, Rob. Ramsdale got us to where we are right now, but sometimes you just have to evolve and to go to the next step, and that's what we're doing now at the moment with Raya. I think it's sad because I love Ramsdale so much.
It's tough at the
he's
top.
got a great personality.
Yeah.
I'll never forget that double
save. It is tough at the top, and
Jesus.
The thing is, though, does he get in any other top 6 side? Is he keeper for any other top 6 sides?
Yeah.
Obviously, Liverpool got Arsenal.
Yeah, I think so.
City have got 2 top keepers, so that he's not going anywhere near there.
Who are the others in the top 6? Who are we saying in the top 6?
Well, I mean, obviously, controversially, you're going to go controversial now, aren't you? So you're looking Spurs, Villa. Villa got
he could go to the London KFC. He could go to Aston Villa.
Does he
right,
does,
so
does
we're
he
not
just
getting in
like
Aston Villa, is he? Because they're not dropping Martinez.
Does he just like Martinez and Vicario? I don't think he does.
Well, okay.
No.
So
They're not dropping,
it's a
are
process of elimination. That's cool, guys. So we knock off Aston Villa. Then we've got Tottenham. Yeah.
Because,
Do you know who I think he could go to? I think there's a good chance he could go to Chelsea.
yeah, that's probably the only team.
Oh, see, I was going to throw another spanner in the works and say
I agree with
Newcastle.
that as well.
Yeah, Newcastle. Yeah, that's a good one as well. Yeah, he could. Yeah.
I think that's a really obvious choice. Yeah.
Yeah, Newcastle will probably be the.
I mean, I know they've got Pope, and I know Pope's pretty good, but
Yeah.
I think Ramsdale's better.
Well, he's been injured most of the season as well, hasn't he?
But after Pope, it's after Pope, isn't it? I think those two actually, you'd be hard pushed to separate them.
And
Spurs are very happy with their keeper, aren't they? So
They can have whoever they want. The London KFC, they can do one. It's all right.
I'm going to step on my own prediction of Chelsea, and because just thinking of that now, off the cuff, I don't think Chelsea will be allowed to sign a player for the next 3 or 4 years because of the money they've spent. They won't be able to buy him. That's great.
Sorry, guys, I've just thought of one. Just quickly, Nana hasn't lived up to the hype, has he? So could he not go Man U?
You do say that.
Oh.
But
Lately, he's been good.
Got 8 clean sheets now. He's just behind.
Me and Rob are there.
Yeah, no, that's a shout. That is.
Thanks, Rob. Thanks. It was worth coming off the show. Cheers.
Is that down to the keeper? Is that down to the keeper that he's doing that, or is that down to a terrible defence in front of him?
Can I just say, Sparks, you ask amazing questions that I really have to think.
Well, that's
great. Is it down to the? Put that one to me again. Is it down to the keeper or what?
So is it down to the keeper? Is that to make all those saves and you still got so many clean sheets, or is it down to such a poor defence in front of him?
Bit of both.
Hold on. We'll chuck everything up in the air and see where it lands. You know what I mean? Because
it's opinion, isn't it?
Don't get me wrong. It's a great question. I don't even know if I could answer it.
Yeah, I think it's
I've
a bit
got
of
to
both.
say what's in front of him is a load of whatever, and but he does make it a lot of gaps. He does make it a lot of his own mistakes. So I don't know. It's a 50-50 thing, I think, mate.
A bit like Rio saying Arteta would love to go to Man United.
Oh, for God's sake!
Which is absolute nonsense. Man United would love him.
Rio, have a day off, son.
Man United would love to have Ramsdale, I'm sure.
He would fit in there, I think.
Okay.
He'd wake up that back four.
Okay, so you think he'd go to United? We're seeing West Ham and Brighton here. If he goes to either of those two clubs, would he stay as a number 2 rather than go to either of those clubs?
If he went to West Ham, he'd be a number 1 straight away, I think.
And Brighton, I think.
And Brighton, yeah. But look, he may look at.
But is he still getting in the England squad, being number 1 for West Ham?
Brighton, No, I don't think he does he?
Well, look
at
Martinez.
Performing, he will.
Look, Emi Martinez plays for Aston Villa, and he won a World Cup with Argentina.
Yeah.
I just think it's about playing regular football, and I think
going abroad, maybe to a top an Italian or Spanish side.
Do you think when it comes to picking the England team, that even though I'm Scottish lad, so I can't really speak on this, but do you think when it comes to picking the England team, the pickers are too fussy sometimes? I mean, how does Pickford get picked all the time?
Because Southgate picks on.
I'm going to say we could go in a whole new tangent here. Who rates Southgate?
Well, exactly.
Southgate picks players that have.
We could open a right can of worms, couldn't we?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think anybody rates Southgate, do they? Or do they?
I'm quite happy for him to be linked to the Man United job.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you remember years ago, lad? You may be too young because I'm quite old, you know. But do you remember years ago they were even thinking of asking Arsene Wenger to be the England manager?
Yeah,
I think that. I'm sure they've approached him.
He was in the conversation, and they did ask Ancelotti.
Yeah, they did. Yeah. Can you imagine if he'd gone to be England manager? They might have won something.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. So, but this is the thing. So everybody says with the likes of Southgate and the selections, he's given us the best experience of my life. Well, if you'd have picked better players, maybe you'd won the tournament in the first place, and you had an even better experience.
Yeah.
Because the quality that we have, we should be winning tournaments.
I agree with you. Yeah. I mean, Kane. I mean, I know he used to play for them down the road, right? But Kane, yeah, prolific goal scorer. But has nothing. If you think about it, he doesn't really have anything to show for it, does he? He's not won a trophy. You don't even know if he's going to win at the Bundesliga now, even though he's broken what's his face's record. He's broken Lewandowski's record, right? But at the end of the season, he still might not have nothing to show for it.
Well, he might have something because
he's going to have something, and it looks like what's behind it.
Yeah.
You know what though? I would have had him at Arsenal. I've got to be honest. We did it with Sol Campbell.
Oh yeah, of course you take him.
You know, I would have had him at Arsenal. If we'd have just paid the 65 million, I would have had him.
So what about hypothetically, of course, right? So we need a number 9, and Bayern want to get rid. Would you take him at Arsenal now?
Yeah, I would.
I think he still offers something.
Just because, for one reason only, lads. Not because I'm mental, right? Because he can score. And he can score prolifically. Yeah. And that's we need a goal. As much as we're saying how great the team is at the moment, and it is, we still need a goal scorer.
Yeah.
Well, what we need is something better than Eddie Nketiah.
Well, I wasn't going to split hairs, Rich, but because you've gone there, yeah, we do. Yeah,
that's the big thing is the drop off from Jesus Havertz to Eddie.
Are you guys telling me then that you wouldn't have Kane? Is that what you're saying?
Well, for me,
I asked a question to see what your view is first, and then I'll tell you mine.
I'm all ears.
Go on, we haven't gone through everybody. It's not just
I don't think you can.
For me personally, there's no doubting Kane's quality, and he would score goals for us. But I wouldn't like to take him just because of the age that he's at. Like 3 or 4 or 5 years ago, I'd snap him up, no bother whatsoever. I just think, as good as he is, like he's going to very soon start a downward trajectory, I think.
So you wouldn't take him for one season to win you the Premier League?
Well, that's never going to happen. It's not realistic. Of course, you take somebody of his quality for one season, but that's just not. It's not in the offing. Like it's like what Arteta is doing. He's building the team.
He's not talking about him signing a contract for 1 year. He's talking about him getting over the line.
You take somebody like him. Yeah,
I get that, but I'm just saying you wouldn't have took him on a short. All right, let me word it differently. You wouldn't have took him on a short-term contract to win you.
Like if you're offering me Harry Kane on a 1 year loan deal, yeah, I would.
You wouldn't have took a 2 year, no?
Well, no. Look,
stop spinning it, Des. We could spiral all day with questions. Go on, Rob. What are you saying?
For me, he's done so many things that I can never forgive him for. I just couldn't see him in an Arsenal shirt. I couldn't support him. No, just couldn't.
I expected somebody to say that.
I don't want him. I don't want him to win anything ever. Apart from that cannon.
Yeah.
Apart from that cannon, we all want him to win that, don't we? I expected one person to say that we didn't want it, and I expected that to be you, Rob. I don't know why. But I would certainly on a 1 year deal, 2 year deal, I'd take him all day long.
Okay, but I can understand.
And I don't know why.
From the other side of it,
I guess it's just being ruthless, because the club now are a bit more ruthless with the likes of the Ramsdale situation, and just generally we've got a bit more money to throw around apparently. So, and there's an ambition there, right? For the first time in however long.
20 years.
I can't even.
Let's hit the note on the head.
It's got to be somewhere near that, hasn't it? Where we've actually got ambition to spend money and not just to be in the top 4. Because I don't know about you guys, but I felt heavily let down by the board under Wenger.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and I think that they should have done a hell of a lot better of supporting the manager when they wanted to. They could have just bought one player, but they couldn't do it for some reason or another. So I don't know how you guys feel about that, but
for me, some people don't believe this kind of angle, but I think there's something in it that was at a time when the Cronkies didn't own 100% of the club. You had what was the other? I can't think of the other guy's name now. We had Usmanov. Yeah, Usmanov owned something like 28 or 30% of the club. So for me, it would kind of stand to reason that they weren't going to spend big money because Usmanov was going to benefit from that himself. Because I found that as soon as they took 100% control of the club, within 12 months they were spending big and they started getting high quality players in and backing the manager. Now I know there's people out there who don't believe all of that, but I think there's some truth in it.
Yeah, I mean my counter to that is I don't think they've actually spent any of their own money, and they've been clever with accounting. They've juggled finances and they've made money available to him. But under PSR, you're allowed to put up 100 million in. They don't put anything from their own pockets in, and that's
15 million quid. I saw on the last count. 15 million.
And that's something that you like this season. They could have invested money in this winter to get us maybe another player if we really pushed it. But they have improved. But they've improved their decision making. They've improved the way they're running the club. So you can't mock them. It's just I'm not sure they're ever going to put any of their own cash into that.
They're putting the season ticket up again, aren't they? So
yeah, no, and I think they're knocking a couple more games off as well, aren't they?
They've added a game actually because of the Champions League new stage, but you don't get that for free, do you?
As an example, the top I'm wearing with Odegaard's name and number on the back cost me £100, right? Now,
yeah. Well, that's standard across every
club.
I know
that.
Isn't it?
I don't mind paying that because that's what I wanted. Yeah. What annoys me is that even though I've only put £100 into the club, let's say, I'm not getting a return on it that sort of like makes me feel, why should I pay £100? Do you know what I mean? Why do you pay hundreds of pounds, you lads that have got season tickets? Why? Obviously, you go, don't get me wrong, you want to go and watch the game, but you must be sitting there going, okay, we need players, get these players in. Do you know? And we're not even really doing that, are we? For so long, we were bargain bucket. Arsenal looking in the bargain bucket.
But we are now. We are buying players. Now we just spent 100 million on Declan Rice and 65 million on Kai Havertz.
No, I get that, and it's a good return. It is a good return. But we should be buying that. We should be buying at least that one player every window that we think that could change the team.
I think they are.
Yeah, I think that's where we are now.
I think they're starting to, aren't they?
So, what do you? I mean, everyone shouts about Osimhen. Why aren't we going after Osimhen?
Maybe what we want.
Well, maybe Arteta doesn't want him. Like it's not about going out and buying whoever the most expensive player is. Like whoever's
no. I was just using him as an example. I'm not saying.
I think they look. Arteta goes and looks, and the scouting team and Edu, they look at the character of a player. I think that's why we're not linked with Tony anymore. I don't think we are the character.
Has that actually stopped now? Is it the Tony?
Yeah.
I think his attitude has kind of put him off.
If you look at Ornstein the other day, he tweeted that it was Gyökeres from Sporting. I think he's at Sporting Lisbon. Was in Coventry last season. Yeah. We were looking at him, and there was a couple others in there, but if not, Tony's nowhere near that on that list now.
Okay, fair enough.
He's way down that list now.
Okay, so let's finish this segment off with who we want as that number 9 then, as the replacement, and potentially why and Zumac says his attitude is the reason why. So, and I completely agree with that. I'm sure we all do, to be honest. So who would we have as that number 9 that we need? And is that a position? If there's only one signing in this summer, I'm sure there's not going to be. But hypothetically, if there's one signing, do we think that striker is the paramount one? Or do we think that we should be getting something else?
Well, I think if Partey goes, you're going to need a replacement for him. But striker, you can put Jesus out on the right wing. He can do a job out there. So yeah, I think that probably that number 9 spot is. And I wouldn't go past players like Watkins, Gicker, as Osman possibly. I don't know if the money would be if we can compete with the bigger teams that are going for him, but that sort of player that can sort of change a game.
Okay, Rob.
Yeah, I'm at a loss. We do need a striker. I just don't think Eddie is going to take us forward. I must admit, I did get excited about Tony, but now he's returned, I just don't see enough in him to think he's going to do much with Arsenal. I could be wrong. But yes, I do think we need to go down the route of getting a striker. But we need other players as well, as you say, if we're going to get it part.
So I just say hypothetically, who is it your priority, or would you prioritise another position?
Do you know what though? The way Havertz is performing now, it might not be a priority because Partey will be going, and that's going to leave a big hole as well, isn't it? So that could be the priority. That would be actually more important than up front with Havertz now performing. I think it's when you think about it, we're in a different place than we were towards the beginning of the season because we couldn't see Havertz performing like he is now, and that's why I think everybody was getting all excited about needing a striker. I'm glad I'm not a football manager.
Yeah. I agree. I think a striker or somebody along the front line will be a big priority because as well as Partey, we're going to lose El Neni. I know he doesn't play much, but he's another part of the squad depth. So they'll definitely be in the market for a midfielder, 100%. But I do think that the priority. Well, I think the priority will be up front. I know this is a cop-out answer because if you're asking me who do we sign, who would I go for? Like there's been a few names mentioned, and I don't know all of them intimately, but I'm of the mindset, we kind of touched on it earlier on, that I'm very happy whoever Arteta picks, I'm going to trust that they're going to fit into our system because it's not about the name, it's not about how much we spend, it's about getting the person who will fit into Arteta's vision. And we might not even know who that is yet. It would not surprise me one bit if he signed somebody not that we don't know or have never heard of, but it just hasn't been on any of these lists that we're talking about. I just trust whoever Arteta is going to get.
Yeah. Yes.
Right, the guys have covered it. I agree with Ian. We should trust Arteta. I agree with Rob. I agree with everybody. But I will say this. If you put me on the spot, a striker and cover for Saka. We definitely need cover for Saka. Because even though he plays every game, every minute he can, it only takes, we've said it earlier, it only takes one injury. Yeah. And we've got players who can cover him, but they're not of his standard or level. So I think we need someone of at least Saka's level or can attain Saka's level as a cover. So for me, a striker and someone to cover Saka.
Okay. I'm gonna. Yeah, of course it is. Yeah. I mean, it's your opinion. So there's no right or wrong answer. You know, at the end of the day, you're probably going to balk at my answer, to be honest. So yeah, everybody said that we and Ian touched on it. We don't need a name. I completely disagree. I think we do need a name. I think we need somebody that basically lifts that bar, where somebody gets, you can bring in that quality of player, and it just raises our level. So like an Osimhen or something like that, again, doesn't have to be him. But we were talking about it at the table in the Coronet yesterday, and I just think we should have somebody with that kind of higher profile that just lifts that bar and just puts a bit of fear. We missed that fear, I think, a little bit.
Are you saying that we've missed Xhaka? Is that what you're saying?
No, I'm not. No.
Just to clarify, I'm just clarifying. That's it.
No, not at all. I don't think we necessarily need a striker, because I think what we have kind of fills that. I don't think it's necessarily a priority, and I think you're probably right. I think the priority is a party replacement, but I think we need a big hitter. We just need a name to basically just pull it through the door. Sell shirts. We need a shirt seller, right?
Sparks, would you not have a fear though? And I do get what you're saying, because it's a statement. If you go out and sign Osimhen or somebody, it's a statement. But we've had so many examples of people who've gone out and bought a name that just didn't work. Buying the name doesn't always guarantee it. Like, you think of Jadon Sancho's gone into Man United, and the United fans were beside themselves with excitement. And look what's happened. Nicholas Jackson has signed. Even Højlund hasn't. United spent big money on him. That hasn't worked out. There are countless examples of names that people have bought that just did not work. And they're going to be, the name is going to be expensive.
I would reboot that and basically say, right, okay, you're talking about world class and you're talking about big levels and such like, and with the greatest respect in the world, Man United fans, if they sign a player, right, it doesn't matter if it's Stevie Wonder, he'll be world class as soon as he's got the shirt on his back.
He'd probably do a lot better than
some of them over the past few years. So, I don't think you can really use the Man United as a benchmark for who failed and who has succeeded, because if you throw money at things, something's going to stick, and you're going to get good ones and you're going to get bad ones. But the Man United of this world have bought the name, not the profile. So nothing that fits the system, and Arteta wouldn't do that.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. That's my point.
The player that lifts the bar that suits the system.
Yeah,
it's like what Ian said. It comes down to trusting Arteta, doesn't it?
Yes, but also I'm talking about from a fan's point of view. You were saying yourself, you spend £100 on a shirt.
No, yeah,
a lot of people buy every shirt, buy everyone that comes out, and buy the season ticket, go to the games, do whatever. So the returns are different for different people.
Yeah.
So the levels are different.
That makes sense.
But I'm actually talking about from a point of view of it makes other teams in the league go, what?
They mean business.
I get you. Yeah.
I think Rodgers was the first one, wasn't he? We now need that in other positions.
Yeah. But again, he doesn't have to be a striker. He can be a midfielder. But Rice is probably the one. And we were talking about we were talking about it a long time ago, me and Liam, on one of the pods, and I can't remember where it is now. But yeah, we were talking maybe 3 years ago now, where we could see him going to Chelsea, or we could see him going to Man United. We didn't for 1 minute think that we'd get him.
No.
because that wasn't the trajectory that we were on.
No.
Well, doesn't Rice say that he joined because of Arteta?
Yeah.
Yes,
it goes to show how well Arteta is respected, because some people have said this before, that if like back in Alex Ferguson's day, Rice was a player that Man United and Alex Ferguson would have just gone out and gotten. They would have just gotten him in because he was the best player in his position in the league. And it says a huge amount to Arteta's kind of progress as manager and coach that Rice wanted to go and play for him. He had City at his door as well. He could have gone to City and won everything. Can you imagine Man City with Declan Rice? But he didn't choose to be. He chose us, and
they season, wouldn't they?
Yeah.
The thing is,
do you think some of that is down to the rotation thing? Because obviously, got Rodri there. He had Phillips there at the time that doesn't even get in a game.
Yeah.
And do you think you kind of just looked there and gone, well, I'm not going to play every game, so why would I do that?
I think he said it in the interview that actually Arteta spoke to him and sold him what he saw for him.
Yeah.
He said, I think you can do, in my team, in my system, this is what you can become, and this is
so
what I see you.
Declan's on 6 goals at the moment, isn't he? Is it 6?
6 goals, 5 assists, yeah.
I'll be very disappointed if Declan doesn't get double figures this season. I'm not saying
I fully expect him to as well.
I do expect him to.
Yeah.
Odegaard got 15 last season, didn't he? I don't know how many.
Yes, he did get 15 because he was high scoring midfielder, wasn't
he? We've for the last 2 seasons. Well, this season and last season, we're spreading the goals out, aren't we?
Yeah, we got 5.
Yeah,
it might be 6 players now with 11 goal contributions in the Premier League.
Yeah, who put the ball in the net? Half the team did.
Yeah.
So we're doing a Man City. They didn't have a striker for a couple of years, did they? And they did all right.
No, certainly right.
No, that's exactly what I was saying. What my thought process is before they got Haaland. They didn't have a number 9 at all, but you could see the steps that they were taking to get a number 9 in before they actually got a number 9 in. With swinging in crosses and doing whatever. There's no chance of us doing that anytime soon because we don't. I don't think we know how to cross off.
No.
Do we?
Well, Benny Blanco.
Well, we just scored 2 great goals to win a game with crosses. Yeah. I think we're getting better at it. We're getting better.
Look at Rice yesterday when he hit the crossbar. When that left his foot, I thought that was going in. I genuinely thought it was going to dip under the bar, and we were going to be wetting ourselves. But
so I was going to say, but if that goes in from Rice, does it change your man of the match?
Oh, that's a very good question. Possibly.
Yeah, I think it does for me because that was a cracking goal.
It would have been a cracking goal. And even though Benny Blanco did what he did, Declan scored 2, hadn't he? So
it would have been hard. It would have been hard not to give it to Rice.
Yeah, no, certainly.
Yeah, absolutely, wouldn't it?
Just shows you can.
Right. Okay. So we'll do very quickly because I think we've we kind of gone over time and whatnot anyway. But what are the? I know we've briefly kind of gone over it, and what are your thoughts for Porto? Sorry, Rob.
Right. When we lost over there, the game finished. I was so positive we are going to smash them at the Emirates. We're now leading up to the game. I'm still positive. I'm hoping it's not going to be one of those games where we don't score and we get into the last half an hour. It will be unbearable because they were playing every trick under the book. So I do think we'll go through. I'm hoping for that good start and make it much easier for us. Okay. But I am confident. I do think we'll go through.
Score?
If we have a good start, I reckon 2-3-1.
Okay.
Well, Richard? I said last week on on another show, I said 4-1 on the night, 4-2 on aggregate. I just think we would learn from the Porto experience and be a little bit more ruthless and on it.
Yeah, I mean, I can't disagree with that. We've definitely shown we're more ruthless anyway, haven't we, since we get the turn of the year. But obviously, there's a chance it turns into another Brentford game. That's the biggest problem, isn't it? Ian?
I'd be like like Rob said, I'd be fairly confident. Like that game, the away game should have been 0-0. It was just we got sucker punched. I think we're a much better side than them. They are going to try the dark arts, but they had kind of a hometown referee. I know he wasn't from there, obviously, but you know what I mean. He had it. Like, he gave them everything. They broke the game up, and I don't think they'll have that luxury at the Emirates. I think the Brentford game is actually going to stand us in good stead because it's going to be a very similar game. Brentford tried the dark arts as well, and so I think we should be able to turn them over. We've enough quality. I'm going to go 3-0 on the night.
You know, the frustrating thing is the anthem we sing.
North London Forever.
Yeah,
North London Forever.
We can't sing it at the right time. And so we sing it before the team come out. Well, it's pointless. The whole point is to sing it just before we start, to get the whole atmosphere going, get everybody going. They sing the song, and then everything goes quiet, and then the teams come out.
No, I think they play it literally just before kickoff in every game.
Not in Europe, they haven't.
Oh, sorry, in Europe. Sorry, okay, I haven't been to.
I don't think they're allowed to. Enough. In our own stadium, we're under governance.
Yeah,
you're not allowed to play.
We're not allowed to play a tune after the Champions League anthem.
Champions League fanfare.
That has to resonate.
The only way round that is if the crowd just sing it impromptu anyway.
Yeah.
Because it does make a difference.
Yeah, we were in the Coronet though, and there are people that don't know the words to that. So quite a lot. Yeah, and probably the most vocal ones as well. You know, at the end of the day, because there was one there was housing the microphone. I was just like, if you're going to do that,
learn the words. It's not that hard.
Right, where you going, Des?
Right, yeah. Let's be honest, their goal was a freak goal. Raya could have had a month of Sundays to get there, and he still wouldn't have got there. So Pedro, one thing I'll make a prediction: Pedro will get a yellow card this time. Might even get a red.
Yeah.
But score-wise, I think we'll 3-0. I'm going to go with it. I'm going to go with Ian and say 3-0. I just think if we play like we play at the Emirates with the press and everything, I don't think they'll cope with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I think the atmosphere is going to have a big impact. I think it helped them a lot over there, and I think it's going to help us a lot at home. It's not like the place is a library now; it actually rocks every now and then, doesn't it? So it's an occasion. So I think, and they've made sure it's an occasion with the price tag as well.
Yes,
the tickets. So well, they made it a Cat A game, so it's going to be your staunch supporters going there.
It's not going to be your selfie takers who aren't even watching the football.
Yeah, I mean, I think we're all a little bit guilty of that, but for the most part, I don't agree with having the phone out during the game at all. Though the last game, I actually was just about to take a video of a corner that Rice put in, and he scored. So I was like, I knew I should have done that.
And on Tuesday night as well, I think they'll have the light show and the fireworks as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. That was a Newcastle game, wasn't it?
Can't wait. I'm really looking forward to it.
But yeah, I think I'd go for 3-0 as well. I think it's going to be a completely different atmosphere. It's going to be a completely different game.
Yeah.
It could intimidate.
I'm not saying that the ref will be better. But
the referee.
Say again?
The referee's got to be strong.
It could intimidate Porto, couldn't it? Everything going on, it could intimidate.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, like so the ref just needs to be stronger as well, and just
yeah. Oh, that ref on there, on that.
He was pathetic.
He
fell for everything.
It's a strong gust of wind could take him down, and they get a free kick.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think his mum was on the sideline making sure he was reffing properly. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yes. Well, I think we've done everything. We got a really good show. Make sure you click the like button, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell for the notifications for going live. Bray will be back with the channel next time you see this show. But in the meantime, I'm Spox. I've just been your host. Ian, thanks for coming on. I'm sure Bray thanks you as well.
No bother at all. It's great. It's a pleasure, and well done on hosting. You did a great job, Sparks. It's a fair play.
Thanks. Hopefully not too imposing or anything. So yeah, it's
not at all.
A bit weird. Richard, thank you very much.
No, thank you. Enjoyable.
Yeah, nice. Thank you very much. Thank you, Rob.
Thank you very much for having me. I've really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Follow me, Google145.
No, it's all good. And Des, thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you for having me. It's been mint being on here with these intellectuals. I've learnt a lot.
Intellectual, yeah. Why, yeah. I mean, I don't know where you're looking there.
I'm as common as muck, mate. So yeah. I'm on here with these intellectuals. I've learnt a lot. No, it's been absolutely brilliant, lads. We've had a good debate. We've talked about a lot of stuff. And come on, you Gunners.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
Exactly. Couldn't say it better myself. Come on, you Gunners. We are top of the league as it stands, and long may it continue. We had a great show. We've enjoyed having you. I hope you've enjoyed the show as well. Subscribe, like, hit the bell, and Bray will see you next time. Thank you very much.